Hey guys, I just wanted to make a video talking about proportions because I kind of noticed that we kind of were getting a little stuck on just how do we solve these and just what do we do to really solve. So just get a piece of paper, follow along, and we'll see how easy we can make this. Now, in class, we talked about there was two different ways that we can solve it. We're going to go over both of those ways so that way you can see which one may be easier for you to solve. Now, looking at the problem says the 18 wind turbines on Windy Hill are enough to make the electrical needs of all six houses on Breezy Lane. How many wind turbines are needed to meet the electrical needs of 26 houses? So, the first thing I need to do is to understand this is a proportion problem. So, what I need to do is I need to go and write this as a proportion. So, right now I'm looking at, we'll say, wind turbines. Wind turbines compared to houses. Now you can sit here and say, "Oh my gosh, why do I got to write all this? It's a waste of time." It really isn't because it's helping us to set up our problem. So when I look at the problem, I want to set up my proportion as wind turbines to houses. So right now we're looking at saying I have 18 turbines over six houses. Okay, that's my proportion. I have 8 to 16. Now I need to figure out, well, I don't know how many turbines I need, but I know that I have 26 houses. Now, one way that we can solve this is to use what is called the butterfly method. And the butterfly method is just simply saying, I'm going to, in a way, as some of my other students would call it, is crisscross. So the first thing I'm going to do is I end up circling these two here because I got to go diagonally. And I'm going to end up multiplying 18 times 406, 18 times 26. And that ends up giving me 468. Now, in the part that I have my question mark, because I don't know how many turbines I have, I can really put X instead of putting my question mark because we kind of want to get into using a algebra type of way of solving this. So because I went diagonally the other way, I can go diagonally this way to solve this part. And I can say 6 times x, that gives me 6x. So for that step, all we did was we multiplied diagonally one way and we multiplied diagonally the other way. And that ends up giving me 6x equals 468. Now, when I go to solve, I'm going to solve this in one. I'm going to solve this in an algebraic way. So just follow along. So when I look at my 6x, I want to get my x by itself. And I got to get my numbers to the other side. So my x is on the left side. So when I look at that, I say I want to get all of my numbers to the right side. So for me to get my numbers to the right side, I have to look and say, what operation do I have going on here? And when I say by operations, all I mean is, am I adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing? Those are my four Ninja Turtles of operations, or my four Ninja Turtles of math. So when I look at my problem, I look and see 6x really means I'm multiplying. So I'm multiplying 6 times whatever x is. So for me to get my 6 to the other side, I have to do the opposite, which means that I'm going to divide. So I'm going to divide by 6. And whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other side. So on the left side, I just do 6 divided by 6. That gives me 1. And because I have 1x, I really don't like saying 1x. So I just put just x. Because when we get to algebra, it's always understood that if I have a 1 in front of a variable, then it's just the letter. And my sixes, they just cancel out. So when I do 6 divided by 6, that gives me 1 or 1x. And then I do 468 divided by 6. So when I end up doing 468 divided by 6, I end up getting 78. So I now know that I have 78 wind turbines are needed for 26 houses. But I got to write that as a sentence. So let's just write that. So the question was, how many wind turbines are needed to meet the electrical needs of 26 houses? So we could say 78 wind turbines are needed for 26 houses. And I'm writing this in a word form because when you start getting to your testing, you're going to start seeing that they want you to write your answer as a sentence. So just use the sentence to help you write it. So all I took was wind turbines are needed to meet the electrical needs of 26 houses. Well, 78 wind turbines are needed for 26 houses. Easily put. So let's go to the second problem here. It says a local survey determined that 4 out of every 10 people have downloaded music at some point. At this rate, out of 60 people, how many have downloaded music? So the first thing I have to ask is, what's my first proportion? Well, I'm looking at 4 out of 10 people have downloaded music. So our rate is 4 out of 10. Okay. I didn't do words for my ratio because we're saying this 4 out of 10 people have. So I have 4 out of 10. And at this rate, we need to figure out, well, out of 60 people, how many people have? So, and I just thought about it. We could, if you think about it, we could say um, music, meaning people who have listened who have downloaded music compared to total people. So I got 4 people who've listened to music out of 10 total people. So now I need to find for 60 total people how many people have. So once again, I have my X, I have my total people of 60, and I have my proportion of 4 to 10. So now all we're going to do is just cross multiply. So I look here and I have my 4 times 60. So 4 times 60 give me 240. Then I do the other side. I do 10 times X. 10 times X gives me 10X. Now we just solve. I have my numbers on the right side, that's 240, and I have my variable on the left side, which is 10x. But I got to get that 10 to the other side. And I know 10x means that we're multiplying. So I got to do the opposite, which is divide. So I'm going to divide both sides by 10. 10 divided by 10 gives me 1. So we just say they cancel out, and I'm just left with x. Then I do 240 divided by 10, and I see that gives me 24. So to answer my problem, at this rate, out of 60 people, how many have downloaded music? Well, 24 people have downloaded music. And that's it. That's all that we write. So once again, find your proportion, set it up, cross multiply, and then we solve. If you wanted to do the other way with this problem, I'll just set it up real quickly. I can do 4 over 10 equals 6 equals something over 60. The other way that we can solve a problem like this is I can divide on the bottom. So I say 60 divided by 10, what does that give me? Well, 60 divided by 10, that gives me 6. So now I take that 6 and I'm going to multiply it times my top. So 6 times 4 would give me 24. That's the other way that we can solve. So when I have a proportion, I can solve using that way. And not being funny, I like to use that way for me to be able to check my work, not to really solve. because I like to get used to the algebra way, because when we get further on and we get to the algebra part of the year, you're going to need to know how to solve the algebra part. So this is just good practice for that. So I would end up solving this way first, so that way I can figure my answer. Then I can solve this way just to check my work. Okay? So hopefully this has helped you out with solving these types of problems. And if you need any help, just let me know and I'll help you out. See you later.